Video has been obtained of a phone call between Emmanuel Macron, as Trump recently impersonated him, saying, "Sir Donald, we have to do this," or whatever. That's how Trump impersonates it. And Trump. So he was on the phone with Trump. And this video, I think, tells you a lot about where Trump's head is at. And this was back months ago when Ukraine, this is on May 10th, 2025, Ukraine had accepted one of the many unconditional ceasefires that they accept when Trump proposes them, because Ukraine is not the impediment to peace. It is, of course, Russia continuing the invasion. And Macron calls Trump to notify him of this. And listen to one of the first things that comes out of Trump's mouth. Learning that Ukraine has agreed to an unconditional ceasefire. Obviously, since then, that hasn't happened, because that doesn't mean anything if Russia won't stop. And that's the real problem. And Trump keeps doing this. He's like, Ukraine, agree to peace. And they're like, okay. And then he's like, Russia? And they're like, not a chance, Donald. F you and F your mother. And then Trump goes, Ukraine, what the hell? That's literally the sequence of events since he became president. I just summed it up for you. You're welcome. So then here's the footage and where his head's at.
May I call you in 2 minutes with Zelensky, Starmer, and Merz? It's okay for you?
Yeah, go ahead. What's going on?
Because he accepted what you proposed on your message, meaning a ceasefire for 30 days and so on. So he's ready to announce it.
Did Putin accept also?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Nobel Prize for this.
So may I call you back with...
If you didn't hear it, world events are going on. He's being notified that a ceasefire has been agreed to. And like the second thing he says is Nobel Peace Prize for this. He is so obsessed with himself and getting an award that's what he's thinking about, instead of how do we actually get this across the finish line. And guess what? It never got across the finish line. Maybe because of where Trump's head's at.
With him and the others in 2 minutes.
Hello.
Hello, Donald. We are in Kiev.
Okay.
I'm with President Zelensky, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, President Donald Tusk, and Chancellor Friedrich Merz. So we are all together. And by the way, we had a very good discussion this morning, and we all backed your proposal of unconditional ceasefire for 30 days.
So then the rest is just normal stuff. But one of the first things he says is, Nobel Peace Prize for this? And guess what? He didn't actually get the Nobel Peace Prize, but he got it physically. Because, okay, this is crazy. If you don't know what this is, let me explain to you really quickly. Trump invaded Venezuela, grabbed the leader Maduro, who was an illegitimate leader, but was the leader. Grabbed him, took him to the United States. Said that he's taking over Venezuela. So then people said, well, who's going to be in leadership? Right now, the Maduro regime is still in power, just without Maduro. And someone says, are you going to try to install, now that you're saying you've taken control of Venezuela, which logistically isn't so true, but okay. And he gets asked about the opposition leader, who actually does have a lot of popular support in Venezuela and is much more supportive to America. And her name is Maria Corina Machado. And Trump says, no, I don't think she has enough respect in Venezuela. But what we learned was one of the reasons that Trump was slighted by her and doesn't want to put his backing behind her, despite the fact that he should not be involved in this at all. Obviously, we shouldn't be taking over Venezuela to decide what's going on there. But now that that's happened, it's absurd that his reason for being opposed to Machado is that one of the reasons is that she didn't give him her Nobel Peace Prize that she received this year or last year. And so then, of course, she's trying to get the backing of the United States because she wants to get put into power. And so she comes to the Trump White House and gives him her Nobel Peace Prize. President Donald J. Trump meets with Maria Corina Machado of Venezuela in the Oval Office, during which she presented the president with her Nobel Peace Prize in recognition and honor. Okay. So now he has it. It's not his, but he has it. The actual award. And he has it because he took over a country militarily. He invaded a country, so he got the Nobel Peace Prize. Not really, but got someone to hand it to him. I saw Larry the Cat said, Riley Gaines, a disturbing example. So they're tweeting at Riley Gaines. This is a disturbing example of a man claiming a medal that belongs to a woman. You must be furious because she's the big anti-trans athlete advocate. Wow, it's such a bizarre world. So then Machado goes out and is like, Trump deserves it. And you can't blame her necessarily. She's just out there trying to do what she needs to do to get the support of the United States. But man, it's so cringe.
Maria, did you offer to President Trump your Nobel Peace Prize?
I presented the President of the United States the medal of the Nobel Peace Prize, and I told him this. Listen to this. 200 years ago, General Lafayette gave Simón Bolívar a medal.
I can't hear. There's a lot of noise, but okay. So she said she presented it, and then just to show you how much Trump respects her, he clearly forgets her name. Mere moments later.
The meeting went well. Why align with Delcy Rodriguez of the Maduro regime and not with Machado, who has the support of the Venezuelan people?
Oh, and he was just told her name.
Well, if you ever remember a place called Iraq where everybody was fired, every single person, the police, the generals, everybody was fired, and they ended up being ISIS. Instead of just getting down to business, they ended up being ISIS. So I remember that. But I'll tell you, I had a great meeting yesterday by a person who I have a lot of respect for, and she has respect, obviously, for me and our country. And she gave me her Nobel Prize. But I'll tell you what, I got to know her. I never met her before, and I was very, very impressed. She's this is a fine woman.
Who? What's her name? What is even the person you met with? You never said her name. Clearly forgot it. So then the Nobel Peace Prize Committee came out, acted like it was unrelated, but was like, just a reminder, the Nobel Peace Prize can't be revoked, shared, or transferred to others. Just so you know, Trump, you still haven't gotten it. So weird. Here's Machado in an interview on Fox News.
Why the Nobel Prize Committee saying that you couldn't transfer your Nobel Prize?
Did I say subscribe on this segment? Please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. Right below the video, if you're watching on YouTube, all you do is tap the button that says subscribe, and then you help us grow this show and get out our values more broadly.
To anyone, especially President Trump, you did today. Why did you do that?
Because he deserves it. And it was a very emotional moment. I decided to present the Nobel Peace Prize medal on behalf of the people of Venezuela. And I told President Trump where I found also inspiration to do that. And it happens that 200 years ago, General Lafayette gave Simón Bolívar, Venezuela's liberator, a medal bearing the face of George Washington. And it was in tribute to Bolívar's fight for freedom in the continent. And Simón Bolívar kept that medal with him until the rest of his days.
Yeah, so we are in this is the real world. Hello, everybody. This is the real world that we're in. And in this world, the President of the United States is making his support incumbent upon another leader, an opposition leader in a country we just invaded and took the other leader, giving her Nobel Peace Prize to him so that he'll consider if he'll give military backing within her country from our military and our government to her leadership, instead of making decisions based off of real things, not what medal you got. That's where Trump's at.
Yesterday you accepted Maria Machado's Nobel Prize medal. What do you intend to do with it, and why would you want someone else's Nobel Prize?
What do you mean, what are you going to do with it? Stick it up my butt. What do you, put it on a cabinet, probably.
With it, and why would you want someone else's Nobel Prize?
Well, she offered it to me. I thought it was very nice. She said, you know, you've ended 8 wars, and nobody deserves this prize more than in history than you do. And I thought it was a very nice gesture. And by the way, I think she's a very fine woman, and we'll be talking again.
So, of course, he lied about the wars thing, but all of that is oh so very strange.